Okay, the next brand that I'll get into is the most famous brand that makes pedals out there, Boss. And I have quite a few Boss pedals. Some which I are actually in storage, but I'll show you a few that I use. I'll start with the bass equalizer. You know, your typical kind of, not even a very good looking pedal, but it works well. And I actually use this on guitar as well as bass. I also use this on mono synths. So if you're using like a Moog Sub 37 and it's a single output and you want to play around with some of the EQing, it's not a bad pedal to use. Doesn't get the full kind of dynamic range that you get with the guitar equalizer version of this pedal, but still works for maybe in metal and rock application. This is a very cool pedal. I remember picking this up when it was fairly new, and I think the reason I went looking for a Dyna Drive is because of Steve Vai's playing, and especially with the song Tender Surrender. Now yeah, he does use his volume knob, and you can also, you know, use a volume pedal if you want, but this kind of gets the job done as well. You have your level, so you know, it helps you make the pedal sit well in the signal chain. Your tone and your drive. This obviously gives you kind of the ceiling of how much distortion or overdrive you're going to get, and this kind of tone is just basically you know, mid to high end kind of cut. It's definitely a good pedal. Next, I remember buying this very well because I went into the store looking for a brand new one, and they ended up having a used one, which was something like third of the price. This is a dynamic wah, and it is one of my favorite guitar pedals out there. It also works on bass, but it's a mono in, mono output. It has expression control, and it really works well, not just as an auto wah or a dynamic wah, but it works well as a static wah. So you can put your expression pedal in front of it and control, you know, the type of wah that you get. It has a few modes, including up, down, and humanizer, which kind of somewhere between a wah and a vocoder. But the reason I bought it was because of the tempo wah, which is kind of like the, you know, oscillated wah sound. Works very well. You can control the opening and closing vowels on the wah, and the decay time. Really, you know, for the price I got it, very, very good. This was also another pedal that I picked up used for a very good price. This is the RV5. It is a stereo reverb. It's not the craziest reverb out there. It's mainly for guitarists. It'll give you great guitar tone, great reverb for guitars. I use it with some keyboards as well, but it doesn't have overly long decays or any of that. You can control the type, so you got the hall and the room and the gate and the spring. The E level, which is kind of like the mix between the effect and the dry signal. You got the tone, so that kind of controls the EQ of the wet signal, and the time as well, so you can control how much reverb stays behind. Not overly long. I'll show you another reverb pedal that I have, which I think is the best. This is one of my favorite things ever. It's the RC30 Looper, and I also have the previous version, I think the RC20. And what I like about this one is, first of all, they have stereo in and stereo out, but they also added a mic in with phantom power, which is extremely useful. You got 2 tracks, so you can switch between the tracks if you want to lay some rhythm down and then some lead on the other track. If you want to do guitars and then vocals on the other track, works very well. There are also a few effect types, filter, slowdown, things like that. They're not the best, but you might use them here and there. Nothing incredible. You have a few rhythm types. You're not going to be using these if you're performing live or anything. These are just for practice if you're sitting at home and you want to get some just a beat going on. You also have kind of an input level to preamp the mic. Overall, it's just, you know, it's important. Everyone should have a looper. It's really good.